Sometimes you don't know what you have until you do an accounting, an investigation, a realization. Then you might be surprised at actually who you are and what you have. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 1, the Torah portion of Nitzavim. We're going to go to Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter 29, beginning with verse number 10. Let's start reading. All of you are standing today before Yahweh your Elohim, your leaders, your tribes, your elders, your officers, and all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and your sojourners in the midst of your camp, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water, so that you should enter into covenant with Yahweh your Elohim and into his oath, which Yahweh your Elohim makes with you today, in order to establish you today as a people for himself, and he himself be your Elohim as he has spoken to you, and as he has sworn to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov. So Moshe stands after reading to them the long list of potential curses for disobeying Yah's commands in chapter 28. They're very horrific, from national calamities due to wars, to economic problems, to wasting diseases, to famines so severe, and besiegements of enemies so severe. He warned, you'll end up eating your own children. The people had to be shocked. They had to be horrified. What is this great Elohim that holds all of this potential horror over our heads? But Moshe looks at this now bewildered, perhaps, young group of people, and he applauds them. Hey guys, you made it. You have made it through an incredible journey that has been decades long. You have seen and witnessed, you yourselves, even in your youth, amazing events. You've eaten manna off of the ground on a regular basis, this cloud, this pillar of fire, the presence of the Most High. Your parents heard the very voice of the Creator and told you about it. Maybe some of these were young enough at that point in time that they're still alive and they remember those days. They've drank water out of a rock. They have been supernaturally gifted to overcome their adversaries. So this is an amazing generation. And they're standing there. Perhaps they're thinking, Moshe, as soon as you get out of the way and die, we're going to go in. But we can't go in until you die and you keep talking. But Moshe is applauding them. You made it. You made it to this day. From the highest ranked ones of you all the way down to the lowest ranked one of you. And there's two thoughts here. One is everybody is important. This is something other that we really need to catch on to. In the Hebraic roots circle and community of things, we tend to applaud those that we know the best. There are those that have their faces out there, that have their names out there. When they're called in study circles, people say, oh, yeah, I've read about them, or I have their books, or whatever. And we applaud them, and we look at them as if they are the embodiment, the epitome of who it is that we are. Well, can I perhaps challenge that just a little bit? While they may be the most recognized in some circles, the embodiment of the Hebraic roots community, this body of Messiah who is recognizing themselves as Israel, the ones who meet with one or two in your living room, or even especially those who study alone, even your own family members don't participate with you. Some of you are isolated. I know some of you, you've longed to have others to study with, but it's a husband and wife team, or maybe it's 2 or 3. But you're faithful, and you keep doing what you're doing. When it comes time in the kingdom, to approach Messiah and receive that portion allotted unto us, you, my friends, will stand ahead of most of us, in my opinion, because you have been faithful with a greater challenge. So I pause and I applaud you. Well done. Stay faithful, stay focused, and keep going. And may Yah add to you an opportunity to share your influence and your understanding with those that are in your physical community, that which is around you. Every one of you are important, and you are the embodiment of this movement, not so much those who may stand in front of the room. The second thing that we need to understand here is that Yah includes those that are sojourners, those who they joined in. Maybe they're not first choice. Maybe they're not the ones you were really going out and were gravitated to. They may not be the ones you would say, please send this kind of people to me. But here they are, and you've included them. And you've learned to function as a community. Just because there are leaders and officers and elders, they can't do everything. It takes everybody working together. And so it is this activity of togetherness that enables us all to stand. Whatever it is that sits in front of us, and forever how long a period of time that may take, whether that's a year or two, 7, 8, maybe even 10 years down the road. Most of us don't want to think in those terms. Please, Master, bring your kingdom in a hurried fashion. But let's say we had 10 years. 10 years. The kingdom comes in the early 2030s. I don't want to think about that. I'd rather it come earlier than that. Come, Messiah, even so come quickly and come in my day. For the sake of my children and my grandchildren, for the sake of Am Israel surviving in the earth, hurry, Messiah, hurry. Nevertheless, on that day, we will stand. There will always be a remnant. Yah has been faithful to keep a remnant. And that remnant, whoever comprises that remnant, will be that embodiment and that continuing witness of Yeshua in the earth, because we have learned not to stand with idolized leaders, but as a body. We've learned to function as a community. We might look into the future and say, I just don't know if I want to go through all of that. Wrong question, wrong mindset. The mindset is, what is it that I can offer to the body as a whole to help all of us get through it, whatever it may be? I am convinced that whatever last days are identified as, however they appear, however long they may take, whether we're even in them yet or not, I would like to think we are. I'd like to think that these days are for our refinement, our improvement, our growing into maturity, the raising up of us in power and in strength and effective witness of Yeshua, of learning to build the body correctly, of capturing generations, not just our own, but those that are quickly following right behind us, moving together as a collective whole. These days that are coming upon us are not for our destruction, our trauma, our terror. Yah is going to separate. He's going to winnow. He is going to thresh the earth. And he's going to separate those that belong to him from those who do not, sealing those that are his with the mark of Elohim in their forehead, while the rest of the world follows a different pattern and goes after a different system. That being understood, the goal is not to survive as an individual, but rather, what can I, Yah? Where are my giftings? What are my roles? How do I pray? How do I involve myself? Where do I stand in the body? What level of operation do I have? And how can I help all of us together to get to where it is that we need to be, so that we enter into the full effect of your covenant? We got growing to do. We got work to do. We got a kingdom to see come. Until tomorrow, shalom.